Well, folks, welcome back. I know I left you guys hanging for a while, and I apologize for that, but things have been busy. And it's kind of cool, actually, that I waited a little bit, because now I've had this truck for roughly a week. It will be a week tomorrow since I bought this truck. I know I just said truck. The thumbnail gave it away. You know what it is. So here it is. So it is the 2024 Toyota Tundra Limited TRD Off-Road. And so there it is. And it kind of happened pretty quickly, to be honest. My wife has been sort of hinting at a new vehicle for a while. Didn't think that it was going to be a truck, but she said she would consider it. We went to a lot. She really liked one of the trucks on the lot, but didn't have the color that she wanted. And the guy who we've been buying the 4Runners from down at Tusca Toyota, Jill's, he said he had this truck down there, and it's the exact color that she wanted. It's the trim that she liked, and there it is. So, like I said, I've had it for a week, and I really like this truck. It's a joy to drive. It drives extremely smooth, lots of power, tons of cargo space. There are some little things about it that's just weird, and some things that Toyota still has not learned how to make better, which is kind of interesting, which I'll go over a few things. But first things first, we'll give you a walk around the truck. I do like the wheels, the rims. The tires are pretty small. They're like a 32-inch tire. So eventually there might be a little bit of a bigger tire for this truck, but for her, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We might get winter rims and tires put on this, but when the weather's really bad, she doesn't really go anywhere anyway, to be honest. But full LEDs, fog lights, headlights. There's tons of videos out on these trucks that go into like really good depth of, you know, the walk around, the features and all that. I'm not really going to do that, to be honest. This will be more of my experiences going with the truck. I'll hook a trailer up to it at some point, you know, stuff like that. So I'm not going to get into too much of the specific details and all that, but there's the full walk around of the truck. So being the Limited, obviously full LEDs, you get the little button here, which is pretty cool for your tailgate. So if you got groceries in your hand, you can just bump it with your elbow. It's not power up, but it's pretty light. Soft closing, of course. This is the 5.5 foot box, which is what I wanted for her. She doesn't need a 6.5 foot box. If it was me, if it was my truck, because I'd still be using it for work and whatnot, I would definitely get the 6.5 foot box. But for her, she does not need that. It is the composite bed liner, whatever it's called, which is quite slippery. Everyone knows that. So there actually is a bed mat for this that just is on back order right now. So there's a bed mat coming, full plug in the back, LED bed lights, the full 360 camera, of course. And we do have some running boards coming for this as well. Again, if it was just my truck, I probably wouldn't opt for them because I have no issue getting in and out of this truck. It sits pretty low. But for her, the running boards would be nice, you know, right about there. Get up and get in. Save you from probably scuffing this up a little bit. So here is the interior of the truck. You got soft touch where you need it, but there is still quite a bit of hard plastics in these trucks. Soft touch all through here. It would have been nice if this was soft touch in the Limited, but you're not really putting your hand up there anyway, but it still would have been nice. As far as features go, it has the headlight adjustments, auto start stop, heated steering wheel, automatic headlights, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping, all that stuff. It's got all the safety features, the full new Toyota Safety Sense 5.0 or whatever it is at this point. When you start it up, it has a pretty cool animation. So that's pretty neat. Trailer brake controller, and since this is the TRD, so being the TRD off-road, you get the TRD push button start, the TRD shifter, the TRD steering wheel, and the locking rear diff, which I really like. And I love this layout because you still get tons of physical buttons for your heated and cooled seats, all your climate controls, everything here, hard buttons. The only thing that you can't do is there's no tuning. You have to go in through the screen for that. You got this massive 14-inch screen, which is super clear. The resolution is really good. Backup camera is super sharp and wide and big. And then of course you have all kinds of other views that you can get into. Down the side again. Oh, let's I'm learning this stuff. Where's the camera? So you got this neat one. And then when you're driving down the road, you can actually look in your bed, which is pretty cool. So let's see if we can do that right now. See if I can figure this out. Yeah, there it is. So you can see in your bed. Very neat. Super comfortable seats, memory seats, full power driver and passenger, which a lot of vehicles do not have. A lot of vehicles have power driver seat, but not power passenger seat. The wireless charger works awesome, which is really good because my phone is very fidgety for plugging it in and charging it. This works really well. The gauge layouts, you know, pretty cool. It is what it is. I don't know, you know. The big reason why we end up getting this vehicle is so that we had more space, and it definitely has more space. Humongous sunroof, which I'm used to from my Ford trucks. And of course you got the power window. So we lost it with the 4Runner and we gained it back with the Tundra. So let's see how much room we have behind me. And again, I'm only 5'9", but I sit very far back in my seat. So comparing this to the 4Runner, there is a ton of space in the back of this thing. Look at this. Crazy how much space is in here. Lots of headroom. Yeah, just loads of space, loads of space. When I sit in my Ram and I get in behind where I sit, oh, it's tight. The windows, like the armrests or whatever you want to call them up here, are nice and wide. Great spot to put your hand. You got the grab handle. So that's the good. Like everything in here is nice. It's quality. It's not crazy quality. This being a limited, there's still, a couple levels up. It's like a $75,000, $74,000 truck here in Canada. Underneath the seats, you get lots of storage. Yeah, I'll have to move that, I guess. So this is a plus and a minus for me. This is where I'm going to start sort of picking a few things that I'm not 100% crazy about. So I love the storage. Obviously, you're going to use this. Like, you're going to use this storage, and it's got like a textured finish to it. That's awesome. The downfall is, compared to my Fords, I think the Chevs are the same as the Ford, and I think even the new Rams have a full flat floor in the back. So when you tip this seat up, you could lay a lot of stuff down here. And of course, with our dogs, we have two huge dogs. This is their area when you lay the seat up. So with this, there's nothing that folds down, none of that. So I'm gonna have to make up a little platform thing to put in here with a couple legs onto it, one on each side of the transmission hump, and make it flat. So they have a flat surface here, which isn't the end of the world, but it's just one of the things that others are doing better. This hump is gone in other trucks, and especially if you do have someone sitting in the middle, they don't got to straddle their feet. They can do that, it's all there. But there is USB, USB-C, and a full plug-in here in the back, vents, cup holders, and obviously this has the fold down cup holders, so that's nice. So that's sort of the first little negative, I guess, about it, is this. What else? I did mention how slippery this is, but there's a bed mat for that. I had a couple things in my mind, but I'm sort of drawing blanks right now. The only other thing that I can really think of that is a negative, I thought there was, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll think of something after the fact here. Oh, I know what it is. So this is the key, and it does have drop down tailgate, you know, power locks, power on locks, all that stuff, and remote start. But the remote start is the same system that they've had forever, and it is terrible. It's got to be the worst remote start system I've ever seen, for a few reasons. First reason is actually doing it. So you have to hit the lock button 3 times. You got to do it just right. See, didn't do it that time. Still didn't do it. There, that time I did it because I held the button longer. But in Ashley's 4Runner, at least every time you press the button, the lights flashed, so you could tell from inside the house, because you can't hear the beep from inside the house. But with this, sometimes the lights don't flash, and then the second that you unlock the doors, the engine shuts off. In my Fords, the Ram, the Chevs, they don't do that. First off, they have a much better system for this, but secondly, you can unlock your doors and it stays started, and then it will keep running. You get in the vehicle and it says press start to drive, basically. So you press start, the engine never shuts off, it just keeps going. I don't know why Toyota can't figure this out. I don't understand it. The other thing that I don't like is, okay, so we walk up to the truck, door unlocks. Okay, awesome. Now I got a bag of groceries and stuff in my hand, and I want to put it in the back. Still locked. You have to actually unlock it that way in order for all 4 doors to unlock. Those are probably my biggest gripes of this truck, is those 2 things right there. The other weird thing that's been well documented that everybody knows about is, how are you going to yank this thing out of the ditch if you get in the ditch? There's no tow hooks. Why? Why is there no tow hooks? They could easily go right down on the bottom there. I do like that there's no massive air dam down the bottom of this thing, but why can't there be tow hooks? But with those negatives said, and I mean, this is, you know, an honest review. I'm not trying to sell anybody this truck. I love it. I absolutely love it. Obviously Toyota, their reputation, their resale value, all those things, reliability. With the new multi-link suspension in the back, it drives so smooth. This has the Bilstein shocks, you know. Yeah, I definitely love it. But there's things that other manufacturers do a bit better than Toyota. You know, they've gotten up to that bar, but they didn't jump it. They're just right there as everybody else. But anyway, we'll jump in this thing, we'll go for a drive, and we'll see how it drives. All right, so now we're doing some in-town driving before we jump on the highway, and that section right back there, that little spot is extremely rough. I hit that in my Ram, I just about followed the truck. And this thing, it just doesn't really even notice it, to be honest. So I do have some groceries and some empty 4-liter jugs of water in the back, so if you hear some stuff rattling around, that's what's going on. And as far as this goes, people comment on videos all the time saying what's going on with you know, the things flashing, the dash flashing or whatever. That's not the case. That's just how it comes through on the camera. So as far as in-town driving, the visibility is really good. The mirrors are awesome. Like, these are probably the best, like, non-towing mirrors that I've seen in a truck. just, they're good, like they're big. The visibility is awesome out of them for just like a regular mirror. Obviously lots of torque. The engine's super quiet. When I first brought it home that night, the first night that I bought it, which there'll be some footage of my original drive home at the end of the video because it was just crazy and windy, and anyway, you'll see. I had it parked in the driveway and I said, well, come on out and get in. So she came out, she was sitting in the driver's seat, and she said, well, how do I turn it on? I said, it is on, it's running. She couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe how quiet it was. Just really nothing. All right, let's jump on the highway up here and give it a little bit of juice, see what you got. All right, so we're getting on a merge ramp, acceleration ramp. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No problem getting up to speed in this thing, that is for sure. Oh yeah, and smooth. Smooth delivery, sounds pretty good, but also still quite quiet. And here we are now, you know, cruising at what would be normal highway speed. It looks like it just dropped down to 10th gear, and we're good to go. That's one thing that I would prefer, is if it did have a gauge for the transmission, so you could tell what gear you're in. That's one thing I would really like. I do like that they put the turbo gauge right there. That's cool. Coming from a bunch of diesel trucks, you know, I own 4 currently, but I've owned 8 or 10 in my life. And coming from a diesel truck, you know, you got gauges. You want to monitor what's going on, especially while you're towing and all that. It is cool that they do put that turbo gauge in there. That's pretty neat. But yeah, just highway driving, so smooth. You gotta watch your speed, because it's so smooth that you can't tell how fast you're really going. I find it really quiet in here. There were a couple times where I thought there was a bit of wind noise coming from like around the doors. My wife said the first time she took it on a pretty good drive, she took it into Halifax, she had her mother with her, and she said that she asked her mother, does it sound like a wind tunnel in here? And it did seem to her that it was a bit noisier than some other vehicles. But I mean, here we are right now, cruising on the highway at 110 kilometers an hour. I guess, you know, maybe it's a little bit windy, but anyway, yeah, just a pleasure to drive this thing. Now, for a little bit of off-road driving. I mean, this is the TRD off-road, right? So, aside from the TRD Pro, this would be the best off-road rig that they have. I am going to try to avoid the bigger potholes, because I did just wash this truck for the purpose of this video, but it drives so smooth. And I mean, yes, the half tons all, like I'm just not used to driving half tons. I'm used to driving 1-ton trucks for the most part, or 450s or 550s. So, you know, anything outside of those is smooth. But I will say that my 350 handles this road pretty good. But this is a whole nother level, that's for sure. This is just a joy. Man, where's the bumps? It's like the first time that I ever drove like a four-wheeler or a side-by-side that wasn't the old school ones with the straight axle suspensions, and you hit a bump and you expect to get bounced right off of the ATV and you barely notice it. That's kind of what this is like, to be honest. You see a bump coming and you're like, oh, brace yourself, and you hit it and you're like, well where was the bump? All right, so hopefully the sound is still doing okay. We've got another windstorm coming in, just like last week. This one's supposed to be actually worse. So I won't be parking that truck here. I'll be parking it somewhere over there. But no matter where it's at, there's still trees around, but I would park a little right on the front lawn, but that's the septic. So anyway, I think over there is going to be the safest spot. So, you know, looking at the truck side by side, obviously the Ram has a leveling kit on it, and it's got 35-inch tires on it. So then it's a 1-ton truck, so it's going to be bigger. But you can tell by the mirrors and whatnot that it's a huge difference. But yeah, definitely like the truck. It's not perfect, but it's nice, and it's a Toyota. You can never go wrong buying a Toyota, especially when it comes to trade-in time or resale or, you know, whatever. But anyway, that's gonna do it. So stay tuned. Be lots more videos on this truck. Once it breaks in, I'll do a fuel mileage test on it. You know, we might do some tires and a leveling kit or something. I don't know where it's Ashley's truck, really. Probably won't do a whole lot of that, but you never know with me. Love the color. It's my favorite color. Yeah, it's just nice. So stay tuned. Lots more videos to come on this thing. But until next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you then. Bye. All right, so I'll have to get the walk around of the vehicle after the fact, because it is absolutely pouring right now. But I gotta get my mirrors all adjusted, and let's go. She's got some pickup. She's got some pickup. So here it is. Again, I will do the walk around, which might even be at the start of this video anyway. 2024 Toyota Tundra Limited. There's Ashley calling. Now we're on the highway cruising, and I can tell you that this thing drives extremely smooth, and it's a nasty day out there. Visibility in it is really good, especially with the twin panel moonroof. It makes things really nice and light in here. What do you think, Bauer?
Yes.
You like it? Yeah? Pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I did reset the fuel mileage. We'll see what we get. I know these Toyotas with the new engine, they take a little while to break in. I know that. A lot of people have said that after like 1,000, 2,000 miles, they get better on fuel. So whatever it comes out to be, it is. But it's probably going to be right on par with the 4Runner, if not maybe possibly even a little bit better. So no issues there. Oh, there's a tree across the road. It's the last thing I want to do on the way home. I've been driving this for a little while now, and it's not exactly the best day to get true driving impressions, but it does drive really nice. As you can see, it is really nasty out there. There's 100-km/h winds going on out there right now, and the truck is planted on the road. I do have the lane keep assist on. I've got the adaptive cruise on. That's been working really good. The visibility is really good. It's got to be the biggest rear view mirror I've ever seen in my life. That thing is absolutely massive. You can see out the back. You can see out the back window like it's right there. Really bright in here with the moonroof. See, now we're catching up to some traffic, and the adaptive cruise is working perfect. The resolution on the screen with Apple CarPlay is so clear, like unbelievably clear. Visibility is really good. The only thing that's kind of weird about this, or not weird, but the windshield is pretty small. I try to sit low in trucks for the most part, and I'm sitting pretty low in this truck right now. I can come up a long ways. Wireless charger works really good. Man, I gotta say one thing, this handles like a car. Like, it feels like a car. Driving down here in the 4Runner, right now, this is straight, you know, road for the most part. But anyone that's traveled this road know that there's some really sharp turns, like around Port Jolly and Hunts Point, you know. Anyway, there's some sharp turns, and this thing just flies around the turns like it's a car. And as far as smoothness, it's smoother and it handles better than what the 4Runner did. But yeah, I'm really impressed with how this thing drives. I think my wife's gonna be super, super happy with this. This here whole setup looks like a lot like it came out of the 4Runner. All the buttons, indicators are the same look with that blue color, and the same as like the little animation and stuff. That looks like it literally came right out of the 4Runner. Tried any of this stuff yet? And the auto stop, you know, obviously I haven't been in town, but I did make one stop along the way. And the way that it works is you really have to put your foot on the brake, like hard, in order for it to shut off. So if you just put your foot on the brake like normally, it doesn't do it, which is great because I hate that feature. I do not like auto start, auto stop at all. No, I just don't like it. The screen is super clear, like really clear. I'm comfortable in the seat. Everything is really good.
Daddy, I found 3 excavators.
You found 3 excavators?
It was this many.
That many? Holy cow. What were they doing? What? 4?
Yeah.
What were they doing? Oh.
Remember, the one was Trevor.
One was Trevor. Oh, geez, he's supposed to be driving a dump truck today.
There was no dump trucks.
No dump trucks, just excavators. So for a brand new truck, 13.3 liters per 100. Like it's not great, but it's not bad. And this is supposed to get everything that I see. This truck gets better as it gets wore in a little bit. But so much power in this thing. Is that fast? So much power. Power is not an issue. That is for sure. The lane keep works pretty good. You know, there it's pulling me back in. That's pretty neat. I'm on a rough road now, and it is so smooth. It's been a long time since I drove like a half-ton truck for much period at all. I used to have a Tundra in 07, and I had a 2014 F-150, and the F-150 drove pretty good. Tundra had a lift to it and bigger tires, but nothing like this. Man, these new half-tons drive so smooth. They're just like cars. All right, so first day of ownership, still going on. Evening now. Winds died down here a little bit finally. This is inside the cab. Nighttime driving. Everything is illuminated in here pretty good. That's one thing that I found with the Tundra and the old Tundra and Ashley's 4Runner is half the stuff that you had going on wasn't even illuminated, but this is. So there was a dial that I had no idea what it was today, and I just realized what it is because when I got in the truck, it was like the lighting was terrible. The headlights, it was like right in front of me, and then that's it. But it's this dial right down here, so that's an adjustment for your headlights. So in 0, basically it's in normal mode, but I guess as you, like, let's say you lift your truck and you want it to be lower so it's not pointing people in the eyes, or you got a trailer on and the front end's up, you can adjust it down. Because I was like, no way this lighting in this truck can be this bad, because I could literally see like 30, 40 feet in front of me, and that was it with my low beams on. My high beams didn't really do a whole lot either. But now we're good. Now it's foggy tonight, so it's not a great test, but the lighting's good. I see the shoulders of the road, all that stuff. One thing that worked like crap on the 4Runner was the automatic high beams, low beams, automatic lights, whatever you want to call them. So far, it's working wicked on this truck. I found that you used to have to get right up on top of people before it would dim it, and then if it was pointing, if you were going down a hill and you were following somebody, it would turn the high beams on, and it just didn't work good. I didn't even really like using it because of that fact, but this one's working good. This car just pulled out in front of me, and it's still running the low beams right now, so that's good. This rear view mirror is absolutely massive. I love it. I love it.